Engines of Our Ingenuity episode number 2847 is online at uh.edu/engines. Additional episodes are available by podcast.
Joining me this morning to talk a little bit about the next AstroFriday presentation here at San Juan College, the director of the San Juan College Planetarium, David Mayeux, is here in the studio with me. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Welcome back to KSJE. It's been a while we were talking about, right?
We haven't had you here. Years.
I know.
I've never been in this new recording room.
All of this, right? The visual radio studio, we call it. So, yeah. A little different than last time you were here.
Visual radio, I like that.
But yeah, exactly. So Astro Friday, of course, it happens all the time here at San Juan College.
Indeed. I generally, at least during the academic year, I give a presentation once per month. December is kind of an exception to that, in which I give the Luminaria Stargaze for clear weather, which is really fantastic when the weather
beginning
is nice
of the month.
For it. Correct, and then usually right after that we'll do the December Astro Friday for it.
Okay.
But this one for tomorrow night,
yep,
is going to be From Earth to the Universe, which is one of our full dome videos.
Okay.
A full dome video is I like to describe it as a video in 360. Instead of a standard movie theater kind of presentation where you'd see something on a flat screen, it's even more immersive than even an IMAX, which does kind of curve around a little bit.
Sure.
But this is all the way around you, so there is it's filmed or rendered from such a perspective so that you feel like you're in the middle of what you're looking at.
Right.
And so from Earth to the Universe, it's going to be. It'll start off and you'll have, I really like the way it begins. All the way at the beginning it shows a night sky in time lapse, and then it goes back to show a landscape like from ancient times, some archaeoastronomy kind of stuff. And you can see like the landscape all the way around you, the hills and the trees and that kind of stuff. And so you feel like you're in the middle of what you're watching.
Nice.
And so after that, though, we progress. It starts off with a look at astronomy in ancient times, history of astronomy, the progression of our understanding of our place in the universe, going from being an Earth-centered universe or geocentric to the solar system having the sun at the center instead.
Right, because for a long time, I mean, people thought that everything revolved around us, the Earth.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And, it was those heretics that talked about the Earth revolving around the sun.
It was like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing was, it was so intuitive because it felt like that. If one of the most guttural, visceral bits of evidence for it is that, well, I don't feel it moving. When you're on an amusement park, right? You're just like, well, I know I'm moving because I'm feeling it. Even if your eyes are closed, you're feeling it.
Sure.
But you don't feel it there. But you see everything else in the sky appearing to move as though it's a big shell, the celestial sphere going over our head, which is kind of the model that we use for that.
Right.
But excuse me.
Well, the Earth is flat, so that would make sense too. It would look like that. Oh wait, no, it's not.
It's like I said, it's all very intuitive.
Folks thought that too.
But our understanding progressed into that, and then from there it took off. The instrument of the telescope being used to get a better, more specific, accurate look at the universe and celestial bodies around us helped our understanding that way as well. And so we kind of go over that. Then the video progresses to show us, okay, well, let's see what our solar system is like. So it goes on into that, and then beyond the solar system to other star systems, star clusters, nebulas, the rest of our Milky Way galaxy, then on to other galaxies and galaxy clusters. And I think the really cool thing with this video is it gives us just a glimpse, just a taste, but the perspective of how enormous the universe is.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel.
You look out into it.
Yeah, makes you feel a little insignificant, I think, when you start talking about space and the
It does in a way as far as
the grandness
size
of it
goes.
all.
Yes,
Sure, of course.
Exactly.
But very cool. You've got 2 shows tomorrow night, right?
Correct, and I'm doing the same showing at 2 time slots.
Right.
One at 6:30, and I repeat it again at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Following this, the time slot is right under about an hour, just enough time for me to reset for my second show.
Okay.
But the video portion will take up around a half an hour, and the rest of the time I will give a traditional sky show where I'm kind of your tour guide,
Right.
showing you what's up with the stars on the ceiling.
That we could see this time of year.
Exactly.
Right? So when you
exactly.
go outside on a clear night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's been some really cool, which planet has been visible near the moon
there's
these
actually
days?
been 2 in the evening sky for a while. Saturn is up, which
That's
everybody
right.
has seen a telescope, but
Right.
Jupiter has come to opposition recently.
Okay.
And it was a relatively close one as far as for
Within-
the ages.
yeah, right.
I want to say the closest one in 59 years. What a lot of people don't understand is that, oh man, I've got to see this, and Jupiter's got to look like the Death Star in our sky, and it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's technically a couple of perhaps thousands of miles closer.
Right.
But it would not appear to the naked eye or even in the telescope a significantly brighter or bigger than at other oppositions. But it's great to see there. And actually for our Astro Friday viewing tomorrow night, if it's clear, at 8:30
crossed.
with the telescopes, right?
Right.
Then it's actually going to be better than it was the night of opposition because it'll be higher up.
Oh,
We
okay.
actually had our September Astro Friday the Friday before opposition occurred, and it was a beautiful night. Oh, the seeing was rarely this good. But when Jupiter is lower above the buildings, you get the heat waves in the telescope. You can actually see it. It makes the image shimmer a bit.
Interesting.
It'll be better because it'll be higher up
Okay.
this time around. So
And
come
that's-
on out.
I was going to say that's part of the Astro Friday presentation
sure is.
too, the sky show that you do, or the telescope.
The telescopic viewing.
Thank
right
you.
At 8:30. That's
Right, after the second show.
Absolutely right. That's right.
Weather permitting, just outside in the courtyard of
Precisely.
the planetarium. And
right.
that's
The courtyard between the Kanigach Theater and the planetarium will set up there close to the amphitheater outside. And I really am fingers crossed again. I hope we have conditions as beautiful as it was on the 23rd of September. And the forecast,
Nights have
once
been pretty
again,
clear.
It looks like it's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah. So
I'm hoping that they're
hopefully.
accurate on that. Yeah.
And to see Saturn, I think, is another treat, right? With the rings and
man,
everything
yes.
else. I mean, that
Saturn's
really
great for viewing.
puts
right
on a
now.
good show, doesn't it?
It's decently high up in the sky for it. So, we got to see the rings. Last time we did it was, and that'll be 3 weeks ago as of tomorrow night. The last time we did it, I was able to show Saturn, everybody that came out to see. I like doing this. I showed Saturn at lower power at about 48 magnification, which is considered kind of low to medium power by modern standards. And
Right.
then again at 120 power, which is decently high power. Not overwhelming, but you're able to compare the two that way. And there's nothing that looks quite as three-dimensional, I think, in the telescope as Saturn because of the rings.
Right. Sure.
You know, and it's other than the moon, that's probably the best detail you can make out for planets, and it's always worth seeing.
Yeah.
Even if you have seen it in a telescope before, there's nothing like seeing Saturn live in a telescope.
Oh,
even
yeah.
if it doesn't look like Hubble or Webb telescope images.
Right.
It's really good for that.
Still pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Still pretty
Absolutely.
cool. And so again, and these shows are free.
They are free.
Right.
There are no reservations taken or required. And so it's first come, first served. We do have a 60-seat capacity for the shows. So we open the doors for the first show, the 6:30 show, at about 6:15. And then for 7:30 show, everybody's welcome to come, get ready to line up and
Right.
stuff there for when we go in. There is no capacity limit for the Stargaze outside, so come as you will. And you don't need to come to the shows, although I recommend it.
Right.
But you don't need to come to the shows to come to the Stargaze. You're welcome to come to any of them as you like.
Gotcha. Everything's
We're
free,
glad
free.
to have anybody. Yes.
Right. And just for folks who maybe aren't familiar, you mentioned that the planetarium is right next to or across the courtyard from the Kanigach Theater.
Absolutely.
Kind of I would call it the middle of campus, but of course that's kind of all
And our
perspective.
geographic center keeps changing with all the buildings and
Yeah,
stuff.
right. But it's kind of near the Clock Tower building. If you're familiar
Yes.
with that landmark
Very
on
good.
campus, if you
Good
park near
landmark,
there,
Scott.
you
Yeah.
you could find your way to the planetarium, I think, pretty easily
Absolutely.
for the Astro Friday show. But really exciting to to get you here and to talk about it. And of course, this is something that you said you do every month. And so there's Astro Fridays every month, everybody. But this one's called From Earth to the Universe. And as you mentioned, that full dome show. So it's kind of, I would think it's almost immersive when you're leaning back.
Very immersive.
And looking up, right?
You feel like you're in the middle of what you're looking at. And with the image, which is filmed to be on a round dome, it's just really neat because you kind of feel like you're like, wow, I'm right here. And there's a star cluster right up here near the top of the ceiling. There's other stuff behind me, and there's other stuff on the sides. It's really fun.
Yeah, I would think so. And you have to be in your element with all this stuff coming out about the new Webb telescope and some of the other images that are coming in. That I probably need to bring you back to talk about some of these things.
I would love to do that, and I'm actually just turned in paperwork yesterday with Liesl Dees for our Encore program. I'm going to try and offer a class on Webb telescope images and on space telescopes in general.
Nice.
We have this is a new frontier with this telescope coming out.
Learning lots of new stuff, right?
Stuff that it can see. Yeah. And Hubble was fantastic, amazing. This is the next level above it, and the stuff that's come in already. We just scratched the surface of what it's been able to show us. There's much more available to come in, and there's a lot of great science that's going to be done with this.
Very exciting. David Mayeux, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
You bet. Good to see you. It is the Earth to the Universe Star Show tomorrow night here at San Juan College Planetarium, 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. here at the San Juan College Planetarium.
You're tuned to the beacon KSJE 90.9 FM, your information and cultural beacon for the Four Corners, serving Aztec, Bloomfield, and Farmington. Reach us today online at ksje.com.